All right, now let's go into the next secret society, which is always the second best. I guess not always. There's one scenario where Owls of Minerva can be the best secret society. If you're playing a hungry game and you have amazing science and culture from the very beginning, and you have very high production in all of your cities, you can actually really do some damage with Owls of Minerva. But it requires you get to the diplomat as well, and that you get commercial hubs down ASAP to get the trade routes for them. So let's go ahead and break down Owls of Minerva, which has some really strong abilities. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying they're not ever going to be the best. Very first, right off the bat, envoy to a city state with an international trade route and a free economic policy card slot. Let's just start right here. They get economic policy card and a wild policy card in their promotions. Those are two incredible abilities. Just with no addition, those are just huge abilities. I have nothing negative to say about those policy cards. That is incredibly strong. Um, the problem is the rest of the society. Uh, International trade starting in the ancient era is just weak. Let's go ahead and look at what this trade route is. Uh, Ancient era, you're looking at one food, one production versus three gold. I'm picking the one food, one production every time. Every single time I'm picking one food, one production because I need this city to grow so I can get my next district down. I need production so I can get units out. This three gold isn't doing anywhere near as much as the one food, one production. And soon as I get a holy site or a campus down, that's two food, one production. Domestic trade just scales so much better in the early game, and it scales fast versus international trade, which is gold per turn and doesn't really scale that well. You can start getting some culture and science, but one culture, one science, one faith isn't doing anywhere near as much for you as growing your cities and getting your next district down. So you're getting great people point. And your district should be putting out more than one science, one culture. If you can't place districts that are better than that or get buildings in them that are better than that, you're in trouble for many other reasons. So right there, having the envoy tied to international trade isn't bad, but early game it's not helping you. Once you get democracy, that can be really strong. Like I would rather that they move the wild card policy card to the second promotion and just completely got rid of this envoy until down here. It would make more logical sense to me. Now, it can pay off well. Let me just say, I'm sending this trade route every single time. I am sending this trade route. I will take the week because this city state's amazing. If you have a top tier city state, oh, this is awesome. Getting 10% culture for every building in my empire that I build. All right, that's paying me dividends at turn one. But let's see, getting culture for bonus resources and entertainment complexes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's actually not doing anything for me. That's not doing anything for me until I can improve tiles. That's not doing anything for me until I have resources over here. Early Caesarity is only as good as the city states you meet. So to weaken yourself, and I say weaken because, like I said, just international trade is weaker than domestic trade. But to weaken yourself for that, for early Caesarity is a really mixed bag. It depends on what city states you're meeting. So no, second promotion, Gilded Vault. Gives you culture for your commercial hub adjacency and allows you to have a second trade route if you have a commercial hub and a harbor in a city and all the respective buildings. This is very much one of those things that sounds really strong until you start thinking about what that means. Uh, so at turn, let's say 80, you're looking at more cities with between 5 and 7 population than your 12 population cities. Now, why does that matter? Well, districts are tied to your population. So at 6 population, this city can build 2 districts. So I can build a commercial hub. Yep, let's toss that down. And I can build a campus because I'm going to do a science game. Yep. And now let's build that. Oh, yep, I can't build any more specialty districts. So that means when you unlock this, Most of your cities, unless you have devoted them solely to this ability, you're not going to be able to utilize that part of the ability. The second huge problem with this is it requires that you have banks unlocked. Banks is right here, which if you're playing a straight science game, that's not unheard of to have banks unlocked by the time you're reaching turn 80 in a deity game. That's not unheard of. It's not the path I've ever taken down the science tree, but if you're playing a more traditional science game, you can reach it. Now, the majority of people aren't going to be at banks when you reach this. Even if you're playing a science game, you might not be at banks yet. So once again, you're waiting. So on top of devoting two districts that are not game-winning districts, they're accessory districts, they're utility districts, because your game-winning districts are your theater square and your campus. That's what wins games. So you're not building the two districts that win the game. You're building a commercial hub and a harbor, and you're still waiting, which is sort of I guess that's what holds Owls of Minerva back is you're waiting. You're waiting and you're sacrificing because you can't really utilize this without harming your empire until democracy. You can't really utilize this until you have a spare district, which is usually around 12 or 13 pop. Uh, Indoctrination, you get the wild card. That is the part of this that matters. Two extra spies is I guess debatably good. I've never really played a spy heavy game, but if you use spies, that's good. The rest of it is ignorable. Four loyalty and one amenity when your spies are in your territory. If you're playing a spy heavy game, you're probably using them aggressively for most of the game. End game, you start using your spies to protect your spaceports, but by that point, do you care about loyalty? Do you care about one amenity? No. I mean, the extra spies are nice, and it ties in very good with their last promotion, Master Plan. Here's the problem with Master Plan. So you get 3% of the gold in your treasury as income. That's fine, but you should be spending your gold. If you're saving your gold, you're already gold heavy. If you have nothing to spend it on, getting more gold is like it's rewarding you for not having a use for your gold. You should be using most of your gold early, especially when you're past turn 200. If you have so much gold that you're not using it, more gold isn't helping you. You should be buying your buildings. You should be buying your units. You should be ending the game. So this isn't paying off much. Now you're also getting half of the gold, gold, science, culture, faith as income, something like that. I forget what it is exactly. Let's see, ancestral pie. Yep, half of that, which is really it's good in some scenarios. This is the capital of the game I was just playing recently. I got 230 culture, 250 science, and 400 gold per turn in my capital. If you're getting half of that on every successful spy mission, that's great. That's 100, over 100 on all of them, 200 gold. That's great. Except for, are you completing a spy mission in this city every turn? Is the AI creating the city? The AI isn't creating the city. The AI is creating cities that have, like, I don't know, half of this, a third of this. So the returns aren't already there. But like I said, even in this city that is debatably like one of the strongest cities at, like, granted, it's at 140, that's huge yields. But the AI is never going to create this city. But say somehow you have this city. You're getting that every turn that you complete a successful mission, which means on the turns that you don't, you get nothing. But 100 culture is already once again less than hermetic order. It sounds really good, but having that extra part of it where it has to be a successful spy mission, you're not getting that every turn. So yeah, the two policy cards do make this easily the second best choice. It is the second best choice. It beats Sanguine Pack and Hermetic Order every single time just based on policy cards alone. This whole society could be the policy cards, and it's still like second best. If you're looking at the utility that provides, that is just huge. You're going to produce so much with those extra policy cards. It is great. This added stuff just makes it better than the other two, but it's held back by redundancy. If they removed, let's say they removed the international trade aspect of this for envoys, and they moved it down to number three, and they just put ritual at number three and indoctrination at number two. Let's say you got like a spy super early with the wild card slot. So you got front loaded two free policy cards and a spy right here. All right, now I'm listening. Now I'm like, okay, that I can work with that. As it is right now, it just hands out these bonuses in a way that you can't utilize them when you get them. So you're sitting on a bonus that should be good that just doesn't end up paying off until much later in the game.